enjoy meeting with you individually as councils to have our pictures taken. And how many of you enjoy meeting Barry, the photographer, out there? You know, the big guy who's taking the I think he shook more hands than I did, so I hope he doesn't run for public office anytime soon. But, you know, too many of my speeches are given in Washington to politicians. So it's really refreshing for me to speak to a friendlier, you know, and I would say more distinguished audience than is usually Boy Scouts. For over 100 years, the Scouts have embodied the best of America. You may not know it now, but when you're an old guy like me, I just turned 50, you'll be looking back in your scouting career and realize just how impactful your time in the Boy Scouts is on your entire life. And that's because few organizations have positively impacted more lives, built more confidence, or created more leaders than the Boy Scouts of America. Boy Scouts have helped lead millions of young boys into adulthood and made them great men. The principles that have guided the Boy Scouts have remained intact since the decade when William Taft was president. Henry Ford built the first moving assembly line, and the Wright brothers first took to the skies. That's how long the Boy Scouts have been around. And it's no surprise, then, that the strength of the Scout Oath and Scout law has transcended an entire country. From world wars to Cold Wars, from automobiles to space travel, from black and white TVs to global neighborhoods and the World Wide Web. And as you all here know, Scouts is so much more than just hiking the peaks, Colorado, fishing the warm waters of the Gulf, or racing the car in the next derby. Scouting is about building character. It's about spirit, values, and community. And looking at all of you here today, I am comforted to know that Scouting is very much alive and well. And it's very much growing in the United States of America. Knowing that you will be tomorrow's leaders reassures me that America's best days still lie ahead. And when our leaders are raised in the tradition of Scouting, their values, their character, and their spirit guide and strengthen our communities as a whole. A few years ago, I took the oath of office to represent my constituents in the United States House of Representatives. And when I spoke the oath out loud for the first time, the words sounded familiar to me. While not identical, the oath reminded me of the Scout oath that I first took several decades ago as a young boy in Dallas, Texas. I was particularly struck then by the concept of doing my best, to do my duty to God and my country, and to help other people at all times. This part of the Scout oath has always resonated with me and was made all the more alive when I solemnly swore to support and defend the United States of America and to faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I was about to enter. So help me God. In fact, in many ways, I believe that Scouting helped lead me to public service. For in addition to building one's self-worth, Scouting instills in us all the belief that we must serve and build our community and help other people. With that conviction and a firm belief in handing down to my children's generation a better, more prosperous America than my parents' generation handed down to me, a fire was lit inside of me to do my duty to God and to my country. It was therefore without any mental reservation that I took my oath of office to support and defend the United States. And as a Scout, I had already made such a commitment. As a member of Congress, I was simply reaffirming what I had always believed in when I was a Boy Scout your age. You too will one day serve your country. I know this because you've already made a strong start. For more than a century, Scouts have stuck to the slogan of do a good turn daily. And in 2004, the Boy Scouts of America launched Good Turn for America, a national call to service that has Scouts tackling hunger, homelessness, and poor health across our nation. With the support of leaders and volunteers, Scouts have logged more than 5.5 million hours of community service as part of that effort. And you're to be commended for that. While many Scouts have gone on to become national heroes, including home run champions, moonwalkers, and even United States presidents, we know that all Scouts do a good turn daily for their country, for regardless of their fame or stature. We also know that Scouts have made a tremendous impact. Margaret Mead once said, "Never underestimate the power of a small, dedicated group of people to change the world." Indeed, that is the only thing that it really has. I wholeheartedly believe that she was right. Take, for example, Troop 1, chartered right here to the First Presbyterian Church in Austin. In September, Troop 1 was scheduled to embark on one of their famous campouts. Many of the Scouts were looking forward to some time together in the great outdoors, sleeping under the stars. But then something happened. The wildfire struck. As everyone here knows, last year, Texas experienced 85 straight days of 100+ degrees heat in a severe drought. These conditions proved to be deadly as 30-mile-per-hour winds gusted down utility lines that caused small sparks to turn into flames over 100 feet tall. In the ensuing days and weeks, the Bastrop fire burned 34,000 acres and nearly 1,600 homes, the largest fire in Texas history. And in the middle of this great tragedy, of all this, Troop 1 could have just gone camping, but they didn't. Instead, when Troop 1 heard about the needy families whose lives had been devastated, they canceled their camping trip, turned to the American Red Cross, and volunteered their time for the good of their community. Amidst the ruin and destruction in Bastrop, Scouts unloaded food, water, shovels, sifters, respiratory masks, cleaning materials, bedding, and clothes that had been donated. And they did it with a smile. What a selfless act and a godsend to your community. And I just can't say how proud I am of you for that. I visited the Bastrop fires when they were raging on the very first day. And homes were going down, and propane tanks were exploding. It was like a mushroom cloud erupted in the sky. And I'll never forget going and seeing home by home burnt to the ground. The only thing remaining were these chimneys made out of stone. And one of the homes that burnt to the ground, there still remained a flagpole. A flagpole that had two flags flying proudly. The United States flag and the Texas flag. How those flags remained intact in this wildfire, we'll never know. But it was nothing short of a miracle. To meet the Bastrop Council today particularly touched my heart. They lost their flag in the fire. I was proud to present them with a new flag that was flown over the United States Capitol in their honor. One of the areas where I see a strong connection between scouting and the work I do in the Congress, as Keith mentioned, is the area of Homeland Security. As the chairman of the committee with oversight over all Homeland Security operations across this country, I'm constantly reminded that everyone has a role in protecting our nation and contribute to our security. The Boy Scouts' commitment to national preparedness is evident through its Emergency Preparedness Merit Badge, the BSA Emergency Preparedness Award, and the BSA Ready and Prepared Award, among a multitude of other activities that require specific training. And in 2009, the Boy Scouts of America announced a partnership with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security on Ready Kids. Ready Kids, a family-friendly program designed to increase the level of citizen preparedness. And to increase that level nationwide by motivating and helping parents and teachers to educate children about the importance of being prepared for emergencies. One of the reasons I admire Boy Scouts is because you find real solutions to many of the problems plaguing our country. And we heard about that from the reports that we received here today. You've kept the faith in what America really means, when so many others have given up. And you've kept the faith about what America means to the world. Many of our nation's finest men serving in uniform of America's armed forces once served their local communities in their Boy Scout uniform. They are serving us abroad and at home, in government and in the private sector. I was very honored and proud to have visited them over in a recent trip a couple months ago in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iraq, where they're in harm's way. But they're serving our country proudly and very, very well under very tough circumstances. Character is formed when a young man learns his duty to community and to his country. The need to contribute the more than he gains. That there's something greater than yourself that you're giving to. And that kind of character building is what leads to great leaders. Each and every day, the Boy Scouts of America is building the character of our future leaders and shaping the lives for the good of mankind. The components, scouting are a true formula for success in family, in business, in civic society, and in life. So let me congratulate each and every one of you here today. You are a part of an elite group of individuals whose experience in scouting will guide you and our nation well into the future. Know that your families, that I are very much proud of you. We believe in you. We know that you will be grounded in simple words found in the Scout Law, to be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Those were all the tip of my tongue so well because I remember saying it so many times when I was your age. And I want to end with one other story. I had the great honor to talk to a hero 2 days ago. There's a book called Unbroken. And it's about a World War II hero who went down the Pacific Ocean. And he was in a life raft for about 47 days in the Pacific Ocean. He survived it, even though the sun scorched him every day. The sharks swam around the life raft. When he eventually landed on the ground in the Marshall Islands, he was greeted by the Japanese. And he was put in prisoner of war camp where he was brutally tortured, beaten, starved, and experimented on. He was an Olympic medal winner before the war began, but he served his country very well. And when I talked to him 2 days ago, he said something amazing. I said, "How did you survive? How did you get through that? How did you survive such a horrific experience?" He said, "Well, you know, Congressman, I was a Boy Scout. I was a Boy Scout. And I was prepared. I got through because I was prepared and I knew how to survive." And that takes me to the motto of the Boy Scout motto, be prepared. Encapsulated a true World War II hero who really, I think, symbolizes his great generation. I talked about handing down a better America to the next generation. That's our great challenge. My father instilled that belief in me at a young age, and I think I'm a better man because of it. My father, too, was a World War II veteran, so part of the greatest generation. And he always reminded me that that is our responsibility to hand down a better America to the next. So that is your responsibility as the future leaders of this country. It's my responsibility in the Congress as we go through very, very difficult times in this country. So in the same way, your parents and Scout leaders want to hand down a better America to you, which is why they support you in this journey we call Scouting. And they are giving you an enormous opportunity that many don't have, an enormous leg up in life. I challenge you to embrace this opportunity and one day do the same for your children, to carry on the traditions of Scouting, to believe in the Scout oath and the Scout law, to give back to your communities, to build character and inspire a future generation of leaders. This small, dedicated group of thoughtful citizens that will change the world. So with that, I can't think of a better way to close than asking you to join me in reciting the Scout Oath. If everybody would stand. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Thank you, Boy Scouts. Thank you, and may God bless you.